Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited to be back with another video. So the video for this week is going to be a little different. So we are not talking about professional wear. I wanted to jump outside of some of the things that are work related and talk about some things that professional women that we go through on maybe a day-to-day, monthly, or even a yearly basis, especially as we get older and we become more accomplished in our careers. Sometimes we have done a really great job with cultivating our careers, but when we look at our personal lives, we think, okay, so what's next? So I'm tired of being single, what's next? Or I want to start a family, what's next? And I really wanted to talk about this based on a picture that I saw where it was on social media. I will not put the picture up because I don't want any smoke from putting the picture up and things of that nature, but I do want to talk about the comments under the picture. So I don't want smoke. Okay, so if you know what picture I'm talking about, then if you want to still have a conversation in the comment section, just make sure it's respectful. Outside of that, you know, it is what it is. But I wanted to have a conversation about a picture that I saw where it was Rihanna and A$AP Rocky on one side, and then on the other side it was Eve and her husband. And in the comment section, it was about 50-50. We had 50% who were rooting for both women, saying that they were proud of them being able to achieve what they could and what they desired to achieve when they thought about their personal success as well as their professional success. And then we had the other 50% who, the comments was wild. We had people who were rooting for Eve, but they had some very judgmental thoughts towards Rihanna in the instance of not being married before she decided to have a child. And this is not the first time that I have seen things about Rihanna once she announced that she was having a baby with A$AP Rocky. I've seen other comments on other social media platforms and in other YouTube videos where people were saying really unnice things about her making that decision. And it really just made me do a pause because, first off, let's be honest, we don't know what their relationship is like. And not only that, but we cannot judge people based on who we think they should have kids with, because I've seen people say, oh, well, all the men that she was with, she decided to have a baby by him. Like, we don't know what happens with her and the people that she decided to date. And honestly, I don't understand where the hate is coming from. When I saw a video of her on Instagram, it was like an interview clip saying that that was one of her ultimate dreams, to become a mom. So I'm not really sure where the hate is coming from. I know that a lot of people have traditionalist views about marriage before kids when we're talking about other people, but when we doing it in real life, people saying like, oh, well, I don't know what happened, or they forget those views. But yeah, so seeing Rihanna and the backlash that some people had, a lot of people were happy, but then you have that group of people who had some very strong opinions towards her making these decisions about her life. It made me just take a step back from looking at not only Rihanna, but other professional women and even myself. Because when I look at Rihanna, I'm like, she's only a couple years older than me. We're both in our 30s. And she probably began to realize, okay, well, my biological time frame to have kids is beginning to shrink, so I have to, if I want a kid, probably I should begin to look into that and figure out what that looks like for me in my life. And I feel like when we talk about professional women, a lot of us, we have to take inventory of that in our personal lives too, outside of work, because as a professional woman, we probably have strong careers. Now, we might not be a billionaire like Rihanna yet, okay? But a lot of us do have really good careers. We have or we make really good salaries that allow us to take care of our personal needs, plus have a little bit of surplus on the side. Some of us are business owners, entrepreneurs that provide an additional frame of income. I also have my notes right here, so if I'm looking now, that's what I'm looking at. In addition to that, we have a good social standing, not only with the people who we call family, but in our communities. We have a good socioeconomic status built up. And then when we look at ourselves internally, most of us probably have been in relationships, and we have, hopefully, fingers crossed, done the work to work on ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, as well as emotionally, so that when we do meet the next person, we are dating with an intent to hopefully get married or to get into a serious relationship. But one thing that many of us probably have figured out is that sometimes that's easier said than done. It's easier to say, this is the path. The path is to go to school, get an education, get a good career, good salary, find a nice guy, date him for a while, become his fiance, get married, build together, have kids, and grow old together, and all the good stuff. That's easier said than done, because a lot of women who might be professionals, they might find themselves having a difficult time finding a romantic partner, because if we're honest with ourselves, the higher you go up socioeconomically, the harder it is for you to find somebody. And I'm just gonna be real. And y'all can debate me down in the comments below, but that's honest. The higher you go up socioeconomically, sometimes it's harder for you to find somebody. And that's simply because not only do you have to protect the assets and the things that you have, but a lot of people who are in this position, whether it's man or female, we might have been hurt by somebody. Somebody might have tried to take advantage of us, and so we're guarded. So it takes us a little bit longer to trust people, to put them into our circle of trust, which, if you're a woman and if you're in your 30s and you want to have kids, can cause a lot of issues for you, because now you're racing against time, but also you understand the importance of taking time to really get to know this individual, because you need to make sure that he is stable mentally, physically, and emotionally, that you need to see what his family looks like as well as his friends, because if y'all happen to become man and wife, then you're going to be around him 24/7, his family a lot of the time, and you're going to have to interact with his friends at some point. So a lot of times that can really play in on a person. And then you have another scenario where some women who, and such as myself, who have spent their 20s really trying to build themselves up, their careers, their salaries, work and focus on their education, traveling, going out, trying to see the world, just having fun, right? And it gets to a point to where when you begin to look around, you see a lot of your friends are married, they're beginning to have kids, and as you consider what does the next couple of years look like for you in your life, you're like, I might want to get married, I might want to have kids, and you might find yourself behind the 8 ball when it comes down to, okay, well, I need to find somebody to get married to, somebody to have kids with, and it just opens up a whole nother can of worms, which I want to talk about today. This is especially true for women who want to have kids. So me and my aunt, we were having a conversation, and we were talking about marriage and kids and things of that nature. And that conversation, it really made me reflect on, what do I really want in my personal life? So with my career up, salary up, accolades up, I have a nice house, have a nice car, have really good family and friends that I love and they love me. So what's next in my personal life? What do I want for a family? What do I want that to look like for me? What does marriage look like for me? I was thinking about all of these things. And with thinking about all of these things, all these different scenarios came up into my mind, like, oh my gosh, like I have to rush and date somebody so I can go ahead and get married so that I can like try to build with this person, and then one day we can have kids. But hopefully I can do that soon before I get into this point where it's not medically safe for me to have kids. And all of this is just going through my mind while I'm having this conversation with her, and after I've had this conversation with her, and I'm like, I don't know what to do, because I don't want to rush and date anybody. I don't want to rush and get married to someone. But let's say I get to be 90 years old and I'm sitting on my porch one day and I'm reflecting on my life, and let's say I never got married and I never had kids. Which one would I be more depressed about? And I said probably having kids, because I'm like, I don't really care for other people's kids, I'll be honest. But I feel like, you know, a little me, you know, and us hanging out and doing stuff and me teaching them and loving them the way that I was loved. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that I could do that and be successful at it, and be happy about it. But if it came down to, because I didn't find the person and I never got married and so I never had kids, I think I would probably be more upset about the kids than the marriage. So after having that conversation with my aunt, and also considering how people were treating Rihanna, a professional woman who pretty much has the career and the personal life and seems to be doing pretty well for themselves, as many other professional women, how people were reacting to her when she decided to fulfill a dream of hers of becoming a mom, it really just had me perplexed about what should people do? What should professional women do? And I happened to stumble across CBS Good Morning, which, y'all, I do not watch the news in the morning. I do not really watch the news at night. The news is depressing. Okay, so I happened to stumble across CBS Good Morning, and they had one of their producers who seemed to be doing well for herself, seemed to have her stuff all together, and she said that she decided to become a single mother by choice. And apparently this is a decision that many women who are in professional spaces are making. And I had heard nothing about this, nothing. And they had a whole interview segment. I'll try to remember to link it below in the description box. But apparently it's a whole movement where people have women, professional women, who it seems to be a lot of, have decided to have children. It's been their dream to become mothers. They have excelled academically, they have excelled professionally, and one of their dreams is to have a child. And so they decided to become a single mother by choice. And after really looking into it, at first I was confused. I'm like, what is this? What is this? So I do want to preface this before we jump right into what the video is about for today, and say that I do believe in the institution of marriage, and I would hope to be married before I have kids. But it's just some realities about that optimism that makes me pause and even just question, like, so what's next? So what do you do? Do I just wait till I get married to have kids? And I'm pretty sure a lot of other professionals, they think about stuff like this too, because I have a lot of professional friends who ask the same question. So do I just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and take that gamble, or do I explore other options? And some people have decided to explore other options, which I am not going to knock anybody's situation. And other people have decided to wait till they get married. Now, me on the other hand, I don't know. Okay. So what is a single mother by choice, for those who don't know? Basically, it's when a woman decides to go through the process of becoming a parent alone. They understand that their child might not know who their donor was, and the mother has taken on the full responsibility of being the caretaker for that child. So why are a lot of women doing this? So a lot of women are doing this because they haven't necessarily found Mr. Right yet. A lot of people who have decided to become single mothers by choice, or are deciding to become single mothers by choice, have stated that first, we have a group of women who were married and they're divorced, And some of those people's stories is really sad. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to y'all. It's sad. Some women, they were cheated on. Some women left abusive relationships, and they have stated that they aren't sure if they want to get married again. And some of them have also said that when they consider the dating process the next time around, they will take a little bit more time to get to know that person who they decide to get married to, which for some women can be outside of that window of being able to have a child. So I also saw a story where somebody said that they were engaged and the person turned out to be a narcissist and they got away from that situation. Another person whose story you might have heard on the news, it was very unfortunate. They were in a relationship with somebody and the person happened to unalive the child, and the mom, of course, you know, she was devastated, and she made a vow to continue to fight for the child that is no longer with us by making sure that children have civil rights and protections, as well as she wanted to make sure that her future children, she would never have to go through that again with feeling like she couldn't protect her child because of the courts and the father of the child. It's a lot of women who were in relationships, the relationships did not work out. Another woman, she is highly successful in her field, but she found herself only dating so that she could have a child with somebody. And she said that that's not the proper way to really date someone. You want to date someone so you can grow and build with them and really love and care for them, and not see them as a person who can just provide you a child. So they took a step back. We have a lot of people who were waiting for Mr. Right, and then they realized that their biological clock was ticking faster and they decided to become a single mother by choice. I say all this to say that as a woman, as a professional woman, as a woman in general, you have to make the best decision for you. I know a lot of people, they like to preach about the traditional route of doing things, but we have to realize that nowadays women are not in a traditional setting. A lot of women are the breadwinners. A lot of women are running companies. A lot of women are able to sustain themselves on their own, and they are really looking for a partnership from a man, and they aren't necessarily depending on men to pay the bills. It would be nice, but they're looking for someone who can connect with them mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, not just come in, pay the bills, go to bed. They're looking for someone who can really be there for them and they can be there for their partner. And women are deciding to really just pause and pump the brakes and say, I want to take my time before I get married and to really understand this person, their background, their experiences, the people who come with them, such as their family and friends, before really committing to them. But they also understand that while I am taking my time to do that, I need to focus on what will make me happy in my personal life. And what will make me happy in my personal life might be the understanding that, you know, since I was a small child, I've wanted to have kids, and based on my career and my financial situation, I might be able to afford that. And even though it might not be the blueprint and the plan that I had from the very beginning, it is something where if I want to do it, I'm going to have to do it this way, because the way things are looking, I might be in a situation where it might not never happen because Mr. Right doesn't seem to be around the corner. He doesn't seem to be in the neighborhood. He might even be in this country. So I also want to say that a lot of times as professional women, we can get in our heads. We can get in our heads when we think about what will other people think? What will our family think? What will our friends think? What will the people at work think? What will the people within our social settings think? And sometimes not going the traditional route of getting married first and having kids and things of that nature can sometimes come with embarrassment if you do decide to have a child with a boyfriend instead of a husband, or to maybe even take the single mother by choice route. As professional women, or just as women in general, I think it's very important that we focus on being happy more so than trying to live up to societal norms, because if we do everything that society wants us to do, then a lot of us, we would be in trouble. Okay, we would be in trouble. And I think it's important that you look at your situation, you look at your life, you look at your health, you look at the possibility of you being able to really date someone. And if you decide to get married, some women desire to get married, and I've seen women who were a part of the single by choice, I'm not going to say it's a movement, but they decided to be a single mother by choice, that they had no desire to be a wife. They wanted to be a mom. They knew that they would be a great mom, so they decided to go that route. However, if you are someone who does desire a partnership, but that does not seem to be in the near future for you, but what is in the near future is your biological clock closing in on your possibility of having a child that is biologically yours, if you really want that and not necessarily to adopt, then you have to really throw out what people will say. Like, you just can't care anymore. And for anybody who might be judging somebody else, let me tell you all a quick story. So I learned very early not to judge anyone who decides to go the route of being a single mother, whether it's because they broke up with the person that they were with, or if it was by choice. Because me and one of my friends, we know somebody who, while me and my friend were in college, I think we're either freshmen in college or either sophomores in college, this person that we both knew was having some reproductive issues. Now, this person reproductive system was having some issues where the doctors believed that eventually they was going to have to go in and do some things that would prevent her from having children. And so they told her that if you want to have children, you need to consider doing that sooner than later. And when they meant sooner, they meant like as soon as possible. So while me and her are in college having fun, at the time we're 18, 19, 20 years old, not thinking about any of that, we know somebody else who is having to make those decisions. So from the outside, it looked like this person was being fast, or it looked like that this person was not taking advantage of all of the opportunities to put down a strong foundation, because why would anybody at that age want to go ahead and have kids? And then you have some people who probably saw it as, oh my goodness, this person is becoming another statistic, not knowing that this person had a very, very, very short window to have kids before they would have to go to the doctor and have surgery to have their reproductive organs altered to where they couldn't have kids because of health issues. So with me understanding that, I began to not really judge people when people told me, hey, I'm expecting a child or what have you, because I'm like, I don't know if this person is going through the same thing that the other person went through. So I really wanted to do this video for women who feel like because you're getting older, you have to rush. You have to rush to date somebody. You have to rush to get married. You have to rush to have kids, because that's the traditional way that we have been socialized to believe that it's only really one way to do life, to do family, to do motherhood, or what have you, without there being any type of shame to it. When in reality, it's what you want it to be. You can be like Rihanna, get with somebody who loves you, and then y'all have a kid together, or you can be like the single mothers by choice, or you can go down the traditional route. It's so many different routes that you can take, or you can adopt. I mean, it's so many different choices that you can take, that I feel like as a professional woman, we don't have to feel like we are trying to play catch up with everybody else because we might not be dating somebody, and we know that dating somebody is going to take a longer time, so we might miss out on that window to have kids. Or to be able to do whatever we would like when it comes down to that specific situation in our life. So this video was a little long. It might be a little choppy because I had notes right here. I really did have notes, but I don't know. I had so much to say about this topic because this topic, it kind of hits home for me because as a 31-year-old who I date individuals, but it's not anything serious or anything like that. So I'm like, is this going to be my plan B down the road, you know? So make sure that whatever you do, whether it is if you decide to go down the traditional route, the route of being in a relationship with somebody, or being a single mother by choice, or not to have kids at all, whatever you decide to do, whatever, make sure that you are happy and don't care what people say, because people are going to talk regardless. And I'm here to tell you right now, stay off social media, because the less people know about you, the less people are going to talk. And if they found out information about you, then you won't even get to hear it, because guess what? You don't let anybody stress you out on your phone, okay? Now, not only that, but I do want to say that as long as you are happy, healthy, financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, then look, everything will fall into place, and you will be able to find you're happy and what makes you happy and what makes you feel like you have been a success in your professional world as well as your personal world. So until the next time, make sure that you go ahead, you like, you share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.